Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back into TK Wrestling. We are back. We are here with a Raw review pod. We watched Monday Night Raw last night. We're going to go ahead and drop a pod about it today. A little, 30, 45 minutes, something, just to wet your taste buds a little bit. Yeah, Matt, how you been? Semester started and, everything's
School's
rolling.
back in. Yeah, everything's rolling. We're getting going. Like I said, we're getting everything kind of normalized. We got Clash of Paris coming up. That's going to be exciting, and then
Can't wait.
NFL season starting as well. Lots of sports going on right now.
Yeah, Matt
Lots
and
of
I
good
know
times.
nothing about debating about football.
Yeah, nothing at all.
Definitely not with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt and I love to go back and forth on sports. I think that's one of the best thing about sports is being able to just be able to chop it up and debate. And that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna chop it up about Monday Night Raw because Monday Night Raw was last night out of Birmingham, UK in the
Or it was
UK.
yesterday, like afternoon or something. Like a lot of
Yeah,
people.
right.
If a lot of people waited till 7 o'clock, they would have found that they were watching a Raw replay in a sense. Because like I said,
Right.
we're in Europe. We're doing the European tour again. It's always fun. European crowds, they're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
This crowd was a lot of fun. They were pretty naughty as well. You naughty boys over there and over there in England with your dirty words.
Yeah, man. The crowd over there is excellent, dude. And they didn't disappoint yesterday either. So it was really fun, but let's dive into it a little bit.
Well, I mean, it's really, we get a lot of Roman Reigns to open the show. We get
Yeah, true.
Roman going on. Everybody, this is the part of wrestling that I don't know. Like everybody keeps saying Roman's going to disappear for a while. He's got to go film Street Fighter 2. It's like, I don't know if he has to. He's playing Akuma, and
Right.
for those people who don't know Street Fighter 2 lore, Akuma is the extra character in a sense, the hidden Easter egg character from Street Fighter 2. He wasn't even a real character. Like, he came into, the fans kind of spoke him into being.
Mm.
So I don't know. I mean, we'll see how much Roman's in this first one. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this is going to be a franchise, Roman could be like the main baddie or something of the second one. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But this is why we're not seeing Cody. That's why Cody's gone. He's filming. If he's Guile, he's probably the lead, or one of the leads in the Street Fighter movie. So I don't know, because everybody keeps saying Roman's going to disappear. So what's Roman going to do? How's this going to work out?
Right.
Especially going forward with the whole Seth thing. And you see how much he hates Punk too in this. Like, I didn't realize there was so much Roman hate for Punk until maybe this episode. I knew they weren't friends, don't get me wrong, but I felt like he put Punk on the ladder of hate above Seth. And that kind of surprised me. So, but it's all setting up Clash in Paris, the Shula
Hmm.
Falla. We had Bronson go down there, try to steal a third pair of shoes, couldn't get them.
The ones Roman had on yesterday were nice.
They were nice. I don't think he wanted to give those up.
No, probably not. He said, "Hey, boss, we're not taking these. You can have the Spizikes, you can have the Jordan 1 mids. You can't have these. You can't
But
have
this
these."
this is for this is really doing it for Bronson Reed for me. Especially the Samoan angle now, right?
Hmm.
Where you find out that Bronson's, family like came from Samoa, and he's like, I'm the Samoan your granddaddy warned you about. Like,
Hmm.
that's a fun angle, because then you've got, like I said, you had Roman turn around and be like, well, they're just, hey, look, we're brothers. Just come on,
Yep.
bow down to your OTC. Like, what what a great like shift, what a great build. I'm really pumped for this Clash in Paris match between the two of them. We might talk about that later, but I mean, that's all that was so great, so much what I wanted, and it's solidifying Bronson Reed as having a reason to be a part of that faction right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. And I'll talk a little bit about it, but again, let's save some of it for later because we do have our predictions show coming up Wednesday. Tomorrow, I think we'll be dropping our predictions, or Thursday, one of those 2 days. I'll have to look at our schedule. But I think this is perfect for Bronson Reed because the tribal thief thing has been excellent. And I'll give a little tiny bit of a spoiler. I think that there's a really good chance that he kind of like leaves Roman laying on Sunday at Clash in Paris. Because if Roman is going to go away for just a little bit, it doesn't have to be long, but let him go away for like a month and have him eat like 5 or 6 tsunamis on the way out. And then it makes a little more sense, right? All of a sudden, we establish Bronson as a threat. Even if you have Bronson lose, on Sunday, you can still have him do like a post-match beatdown and then take Roman out, and then he's still standing tall over Roman when all is said and done while Roman's on his way out. I think that could be good too. But yeah, dude, I love the Samoan lineage connection now in terms of all that. Like you said, I'm the one that they warned you about. I love that he was talking about, yeah, my family was the one exiled. We were too crazy, too savage to be there. We were exiled out. So yeah, I like that angle a lot. I think you're nailing the head there.
And we'll get to it later, but it's interesting, like when this faction does implode, it's interesting to see where things might go. Because this could
Hmm.
be something that does become some weird, like, friendship, brotherhood 2 years down the line or something, Bronson Reed and Roman. Maybe not. Maybe it becomes a bitter feud, you know? But it just opens it up for that possibility. Because there was a second there where it's like, what if Bronson Reed just runs down and him and Roman, give a hug? Like, it's not going to happen. But I mean,
Right.
what if? What if they just Samoan out? I don't know.
No, I could. I mean, but there's a reason that before Bronson Reed got hurt in that War Games match that he was a part of Solo's new bloodline.
I
You know,
guess that is true.
there was a reason that he was a part of that. So there is that connection. There is that deep lineage down the line at some point, and if not like a blood relationship, it's the culture and all that. So I think. Look, I think you can't lose putting these two together, and I think that they work really well together. I think just like you've been saying for a few months now, I think Bronson is really underrated on the mic. Like when he's given mic time and
Yeah.
he they really let him go, he's really good. It's crazy that we put Paul Heyman, who is I don't want to say like historically always paired with someone bad on the mic, right? Because he was paired with CM Punk, he was paired with Roman, and both of those guys are CM Punk's excellent and Roman's pretty decent now. But Bronson Reed, Seth Rollins, and Braun Breaker, they don't need a mouthpiece. And it's the fact that they have Paul to elevate them a little bit. I really don't think they do.
I think Braun needs one right now a little bit. Just because the
I
character
mean,
he's
more
playing
than the other
partially.
two,
Yeah, more than
sure.
the other two. Like
Yeah.
like 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 Braun's still like the heat-seeking missile. We'll get to Braun later, but I got a lot to talk about with Braun, and not just in the match sense. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
All
no,
right,
he's
we'll
he's
dive
the
into that
one.
a little later.
Yeah.
All right. So we get our first match of the night, and it is JD McDonough of the Judgment Day going up against Dragon Lee. And dude, we were texting about this. This match was
Dude,
excellent.
JD McDonough just takes, like, I mean, I say it, Rhea takes, just takes licks.
Mhm.
JD McDonough takes licks, dude. He just week in, week out. I mean, that's how, like, he broke his ribs or whatever, I mean, he just, and like this match was just, I mean, and Dragon Lee was taking some good licks too, don't get me wrong, but man, this was a brutal match that I wasn't expecting to be this brutal, I guess. Like, this was just, man, this low key was one of the best matches of the night, and I wasn't expecting. I didn't even know really why we were doing it on some levels. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. And it was one of those unexpected ones that by the end of it, I was like, damn, I'm glad this match randomly happened. And I'm telling you, I feel like Dom is probably going to retain over AJ, probably via nefarious reasons. And then we'd probably get Dragon Lee maybe eventually taking that title, or maybe we're just getting Dragon Lee and a tag partner of his choice against Judgment Day for those tag titles. Maybe that's where we're going. I
I mean,
don't
we're
really
probably
know.
getting that regardless. I mean, that's probably coming soon. But as we said, there's got to be some sort of Dom, Dragon Lee, Rey Mysterio story. Like, I think it has to come obviously before the if we get the Rey and Dom reconcile,
Hmm.
storyline before Rey retires, because those are the two storylines. But I feel like a lot of that's been obviously hijacked because of Rey's injury.
Hmm.
So, like, what are we going to get done? Roxanne Perez has become because of Liv Morgan's injury. You know what I mean? So, what's going to become of this? Like, when's Ray going to get back? But I feel like something's going to happen with Dominic, Dragon Lee, and Ray soon. And but in the meantime, yeah, we're probably going to see some tag team thing,
Yeah.
going on right here.
Yeah, and last thing on this match, man, I told you I told you in our text, but JD McDonough took like 4 or 5 spots that I was like, how did he not break his neck?
Dude, I mean, like, because like I said, you were watching a little behind me, so when you said his neck, I'm like, man, did he mean that kick? Did he mean that like that Paul driver kind of
There was a
thing? Like, did
power
you mean?
bomb, dude.
Yeah, I mean, like, dude, there like 3 or 4 moves where I'm like I said, JD McDonough just takes punishment. He
Yeah.
just takes punishment, and he does it so well, and he gets up, and like I said, it's so fluid, and he's got his own cool moves, which is great. I mean, it's a him and Finn are a lot of fun to watch. Like that's why the Judgment Day is so much fun to watch. Let's be honest here. It's like a bunch of guys who you don't mind seeing lose, but can wrestle the hell out of a match and take abuse. And then like I said in this match, also we got AJ Styles popping up with Dom, and that still is one of my favorite things going on. Is just the constant, you know, pestering of AJ Styles to Dominic Mysterio. Finally cashes in a little later in the evening. But yeah, no, that's been one of my favorite things that I didn't know I was gonna like. I did not know I was gonna like AJ Styles, pestering Dominic Mysterio being one of my favorite storylines of 2025.
Man, dude, AJ is just, you haven't watched a ton of AJ. You're seeing AJ these last few years, so you didn't see AJ's been doing this for like 25, almost 30 years. So it's like you haven't seen the peak of what AJ Styles can do. And so I was actually about to talk about AJ and say, man, as much as I want it be like Dom is going to retain the title in the match that they have eventually, part of me wants to see AJ win that Intercontinental title so that way maybe we can get AJ Styles and John Cena one more time. Because AJ Styles and John Cena had a great uh, rivalry back in like 2016, 2017, somewhere in there. And I would really like to see them revisit that because John Cena still hasn't held that Intercontinental Championship yet. That's the only title in WWE he's never won. So it just feels like an easy storyline to write. AJ winning the title off of Dom, and then maybe because Cena's tied up with Brock Lesnar after he's done with that Brock Lesnar stuff, maybe AJ comes out and is just cutting a promo, interrupted by John Cena. Now we got a match in like October. So I would like to see that a lot. But all right, moving on. Penta going up against Kofi Kingston of the New Day. And look, dude, I thought this match was really fun. I'm loving the New Day as heels. I don't know if you saw that promo I
Yeah,
sent
no,
you
yeah,
with
no,
the
I saw
confetti.
you. I said, yeah, no, I don't know what to make of the New Day anymore, man.
I love them. I love them so much. I've always loved the New Day since their beginning, but this iteration of them, I think, is genuinely hilarious. I think that their comedic timing is perfect, and I think Grayson Waller has even been really funny as like a little last second addition to the group. So I don't know, man. I'm loving it.
I don't know what to make of it, and I don't know what it does with Penta though. You know what I'm saying? It's like what more for me? It's like what is the WWE doing with Penta right now? Like I feel like they have no idea what to do with Penta. You know, no idea at all. This dude wrestles everybody. I feel like the only person he hasn't wrestled yet is like John Cena, right? I mean that's like the only guy on the card.
Well, I think that may be a big part of what they're actually trying to do with him is just trying to get him more exposed to worldwide audiences. Not that he really needs it because he's pretty well known worldwide, but you get to just showcase this excellent talent. And maybe this is all working towards an intercontinental title shot, or maybe he is a part of a team at War Games, because he's had a lot of interactions with Division already with Seth Rollins and his group. So what if we get Seth's group on one side with one or two more people, and then on the other side is the group of baby faces, and Penta's on that side. So I could see him maybe culminating to that, and then after that, you're working up towards the Royal Rumble. So who really knows? But I'm hoping that we get either by I think the big push for Penta is Mania,
I mean,
WrestleMania.
just this whole COVID, this whole New Day thing right now is just so weird.
I think this is just
Is
if
this
you're
just
looking
a
at this as
fun?
an
Is this
anime
just a
fan,
fun dumb feud? Is that what this
it's a
is?
filler. It's a filler arc. That's
All
all it
right,
is.
all right.
He's gonna have
Got it.
really
God,
great
once you say
matches.
anime, God, it does feel like anime. You've
Yeah,
got Grayson
yeah.
Waller with the pat. Oh my God, and you got Xavier Woods with the hat and everything.
With the what's the word I'm looking for, like the over the top personalities that they have.
Oh
It's
my God, is this like an anime thing?
dude, I'm telling you, Penta is the hero of the anime who got lost in this random village on his travels, and now he has to fight his way out,
Oh
and
my
he's
God.
fighting the New Day. And he's gonna have great matches with all three of them, bro. He already had a great match with Kofi. Up next, he's gonna have a great match. Didn't he face Xavier already as well? and then he's gonna face Grayson Waller next, and now we can move on or whatever. So
All right,
I
all
don't think
right,
it's that I don't think it's that deep. I think it's just like a little filler that they're just
okay.
like, here, watch some good wrestling, you know. But I thought the match had a good pace. Got a commercial break because we get a lot of commercial breaks. Which, by the way, I'm so mad. I was watching Raw on delay and I still got ads. So that
Yeah,
was
yeah. No,
super
it's
fun.
weird because if you watch it sometimes like a 45-minute delay, you won't get ads.
Dude, I feel like I was like an hour
Dude,
behind.
I'm this close to putting a VPN on my Fire Stick. So
I'm telling you, man, I've been talking about VPNs for a minute, but Kofi gets the win over Penta, and they ended up having like a great promo later on in the night where they just basically Kofi came out and they were celebrating. Grayson Waller's just throwing confetti on them for like 2 minutes straight. It didn't air for the U.S. audiences, so go find it on Instagram, and it's pretty fun.
yeah, no, like you said, it definitely plays up the anime angle too. Like once you say that, like so Xavier Woods is all in that anime style head or whatever. So
Yes, dude. I mean,
I can see
he
that.
has a Majin Buu. He has a Majin
All
tattoo
right,
right
yeah,
here.
then yeah, now
He's a
this
big
is
anime guy.
okay. Yeah, now that fills in a lot of gaps. Then I feel like.
All right, so Matt, talk to us a little bit about this what is being dubbed an old rivalry reignited. Becky Lynch and Nikki Bella. They get some words in against each other before their
Dude,
upcoming match.
they
What did you
got
think about it?
they got some fun words in too. Look, Becky Lynch is throwing down some promos, especially with Nikki Bella. You know, like this is like the second one, right? The first one where she threw out the, my hot husband versus, oh, where's your husband? Oh, I can't see him or whatever, you know?
Yep.
I mean, like, and then this one, like Nikki came at her, she's like, I'm gonna call you the C word or something like that. Coward. And she's like, I thought you had another C word in mind. And you know what she meant.
Yep.
So it's been, dude, like I said, Becky has just been tearing it up since she came back, dude. And she's, like I said, she's bringing everybody up. Like I said, everybody from Lyra to Bailey to, getting Nikki Bella back in it, just everybody, look, this is so much fun. I said, don't want to go too far. And he's going to start predicting Clash in Paris. But like I said, we'll see him in Clash in Paris for the title. But this is just this is prime Becky. This might be the best Becky Lynch ever. I don't know. You've seen more of Becky Lynch than I have. But
Well, I
do you
mean,
like this more than the man? What's your
well, no,
favorite?
the man was the first woman to win a main event of WrestleMania, so
No,
pretty
yeah,
high
yeah.
up there.
I'm just saying, like, as far as like just the run right now, like the character run.
I guess I like her character probably more than any other character that she's had. I mean, the man was pretty peak when she beat
Right.
Ronda and Charlotte at Mania, but I've really enjoyed this run, and I think one thing that I really enjoy about what they've done with this Intercontinental title since they introduced it was they put it on a young gun in Lyra Valkyria and had her have a pretty lengthy run with it, and then she loses it to maybe the greatest of all time in terms of women's wrestling in Becky Lynch. And now Becky Lynch has surrounded it with Lyra Valkyria again, Bailey, who is also up there with one of the greatest women's wrestlers of all time, and now Nikki Bella, who, for her own credit, is also one of the greatest women's
Right,
wrestlers
right.
of all time. So it's like this title is being surrounded by rarefied air, and then you mentioned, a lot of people didn't like the I'm the man that's going to hold you down. I'm going to hold the women of this division down. And they're like, well, that doesn't really elevate the title. She blah 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 blah. It's like, come on, guys. It's the storyline. So when somebody inevitably takes her down, it's going to be massive. And I feel like somehow it's going to be Lyra again to take her down in the long run, even though she's not supposed to be competing for the title when Becky has it. I don't know. But I don't know. I think I really do love Becky's work, and I thought the promo was fun. Bleacher Report only gave it a C grade. I don't know about that. I
Look,
thought it
dude,
was a
like,
pretty fun promo.
Becky right now, like her and Seth, right? Seth has a faction. She ain't got a faction. She's
Right.
like she's like running. It's like she's running and she's like holding the title. And all man, it's just it's not the women's heavyweight or the women's world, but still, she's got the Intercontinental. She's running with it, and everybody's chasing her. And it's so much fun just watch her piss somebody else off every week and not care.
Well, and one thing that's important to mention, it's not the world title, but right now it's the only women's title on Monday Night Raw. because the World Heavyweight Championship's being vacated. Naomi
Right,
can't
right.
can't defend it. So right now, that's the most important championship on WWE TV for the women in terms of Monday Night Raw. So of course, Becky Lynch has it around her waist again.
I
All
just
right.
love watching her run and everybody chasing her, man. Everybody's,
Yeah.
you know, like who's going to have her back? That's the thing. Like, because she's going to get cornered or caught at some point, and then there's going to be like, I mean, there's going to be a fatal 5-way for this thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. All right. Rhea Ripley, Roxanne Perez. Look, I thought this was another fun match. I love the David and Goliath style matches. I think Roxanne and Rhea are two of the best women on the roster. And I really liked Roxanne targeting the knee of Rhea Ripley. Really, Roxanne's really good at working in her size into the chemistry of the match. And I think she excels at that and at such a young age. Who knows? Maybe she's the one to take the Intercontinental Championship away eventually. She could have a good run with that. But Rhea Ripley ended up picking up the win, and I don't think anything too shocking here. But we'll talk about what happened with Rhea and Io and the Kabuki Warriors later because I have to give you some credit on some stuff. But what did you think about the match?
This was a. I mean, yet again, like I said, Rhea taking punishment. Like I said, JD takes punishment. Rhea takes punishment against Roxanne Perez since there's such a size difference. You've got to really make it hit. So they do a good job of that. But in a lot of ways, this match felt a little perfunctory. Like we've seen this a little bit already. We've seen, we're just we're more doing the will they won't they story with Io and Rhea right now. Like we just keep going. Like this is like we talk about how like the Kofi the New Day story right now is an anime. This is like a classic like whatever 80s 90s drama television show where like the two leads who are like detectives. Are they going to get together in the end? Are they not? Are they just Mulder and Scully? Are Mulder and Scully ever going to kiss? It's like, are Rhea and Io ever going to get together and just be a tag team? Or are they just going to keep like doing this will they, won't they thing? I'm curious how much longer they can play out that thread before something has to give. Because I feel like something has to give with that, and maybe it's coming. Like you mentioned the Kabuki Warriors. Maybe we're gonna see Rhea and Io tag team against those two eventually. That could be nuts. So you muted yourself, my man.
Well, I was gonna say they had so Io makes the save for Rhea, and then after the fact, backstage, Kabuki Warriors come up and there's a whole bunch of drama. So I was gonna say I think you were right months ago, whenever you called it and said that Rhea and Io were gonna be frenemies to a tag team, and I think that is actually probably gonna happen. I think it's gonna be Rhea and Io against the Kabuki Warriors at some point. So yeah, I could definitely see that happening. I just wanted to give you some props on that because I think you're right about it.
I don't know what ends. Like where are we doing with this? Where are we taking it? You know, I just don't know. Like I said, because I don't. You know this side better than I do. Like how do you reconcile a tag team and then two ladies who are perennially world heavyweight or world champions, like contenders or whatever. So how where do you find the middle ground on those two?
Well, I don't think that they have to end up being like a long-term tag team. I think it can be like a, friend
Just a
like
temporary like little thing.
yeah, a temporary like, hey, look, I don't want to be your best friend here. I was just helping you out because you helped me out or because it was the right thing to do to help you. I didn't save you because I wanted to be your best friend. I saved you because it was the right thing to do or whatever. And Asuka couldn't see through that. I saw some comment that said Kyrie Sane is the worried mom, Asuka is the pissed off dad who doesn't want his daughter Io Sky to date the Rhea Ripley. And so the mom is stuck in the middle, Kyrie Sane, and Asuka is the mad dad yelling at his daughter not to date Rhea Ripley. And so I was like, yeah, that pretty much checks out. Yeah, that's about it. So
All right.
yeah, I think it's just ended up Kabuki Warriors versus Rhea Io.
Do the women just have one tag team title, or do they have a Raw and SmackDown one?
No, it's just one, and it
So,
bounces between Raw, SmackDown, NXT.
so that's the other like that could be a lot of fun, right? Like if Rhea and Io do the tag team thing, they actually do it. they take on the Judgment Day, then they take on the Kabuki Warriors. God, how much fun would would Rhea and Io versus Alexa and Charlotte be?
That'd be really fun, and maybe you could do it at, like, Survivor Series or
I
something,
mean,
you
I
know,
don't
when
know,
it's, like,
or
brand
maybe
versus
that's
brand.
WrestleMania. Maybe that's WrestleMania next year. You build to it for WrestleMania next year, you
Yeah,
know?
I guess I just don't know how you keep Rhea and Io a tag team all the
That's what
way
I'm
till
saying.
WrestleMania.
Right. I don't know either, but man, if you could do that or make it to, I guess, because they'd both be in the Royal Rumble. Is it whatever the PLE before the Royal Rumble is, so they can win, and then whatever, and then they both go in the Royal Rumble, and maybe that's when they have some split because they got to take each other out in the Rumble. You know.
Yeah, maybe so. Alright, so up next, we had AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. Look, I loved the Styles Heat t-shirt. I thought that was really funny. And then, look, Styles and Balor, they have faced each other so many times in WWE, outside of WWE. They're always fun to watch. And yeah, AJ ends up picking up the win with a Styles clash, kind of not out of nowhere, but it was a little unexpected when he hit it. But AJ, look, dude, AJ's so good. I think he's one of the greatest of all time in terms of wrestlers in general. So I love watching him and Finn. And you were saying that it's like JD. Finn is just so fun to watch in the ring.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
look, I thought it was a really fun Monday Night Raw match that really got the crowd hyped up.
No, no. This was a great fun match. Like all everything, every move was hit, and it was a clean match, which was kind of surprising. You know, no interference. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
just really,
and then we find out backstage that we're not getting Dom and AJ at Clash in Paris for some reason. We're getting it at the Monday Night Raw after. Um,
yeah. No, that is kind of. It felt like it
like
should have been a
why?
Clash in Paris match. So
Yeah,
yeah,
like
yeah.
why?
I thought that especially So no, I don't know why. I don't know why it's a Raw match, but does that mean that Dom's going to retain then since it's a Raw match? Like it's not. I don't know. I don't know. But
I
maybe like I
really
said,
don't know.
they have lately liked to give up titles on Raw, like the Raw after PLEs. You know,
And AJ Styles is massive in Paris. They just love him there. It could happen. We could get a surprise title change on the Monday Night Raw after.
I mean, I think there's a good chance. Like I said, they like changing titles on the Raw after. You know,
Yeah. All right, so not much to say about that because we all know it's working up towards AJ and Dom. We'll talk about that a little more next week whenever that match does happen because again, it'll be the Raw after. But our main event, it's main event time, Braun Breaker versus LA Knight, and before Braun Breaker can get out to the arena, he's attacked backstage by one Roman Reigns, and then he and Bronson Reed end up getting into a fight, and it's just all out chaos backstage
well, before
until
any of that, I want to get to this because there was a
Mhm.
promo, and I don't know where it came in the episode, but it was a
Yeah.
Paul, Seth, Bronson,
Yes, 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 that was a great one.
Braun promo right before he sent him out there to go face LA Knight. And I don't know, maybe I'm giving Braun too much credit. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm giving the right amount of credit. Braun looked unenthused. He didn't look like he was into it. So like for the first time ever, I'm looking at Braun going, is this the beginning of Braun cracking? Like Braun realizing like he's just the missile, he's just the dog, later in the match, when the match happens, or after the match, and Punk comes out or something, or I don't remember who came out first, but Seth immediately turns like, go get him, like, and you saw a hesitation, I felt like, and we also heard, I don't know if you heard, like, but what last Raw, Braun did get hurt to some degree in that match. There's a picture of him in the hospital. Maybe I got AI tricked or something, but there's a picture of him in a hospital bed after Raw last week when he got dropped on that shopping cart full of terror, you know. Um, so I'm just starting with that. I just want to start with that. I'm just curious. Did you
No,
see
I
any of
do.
this?
No, I want to tell you, I wrote it in my notes. I said, I'm seeing a subtle tease of dissension between Paul and Braun. Could the turn be closer than I thought?
I mean,
So
so you think it's
that's
between
why,
Braun and Paul more, or you think
well,
it's Braun and the faction?
it feels like Braun is not liking his place in the group. And I think that he's doing a very bad job of hiding that. But
Right.
if you watch that promo that you were talking about, Seth gives the big rah rah speech to Braun and Bronson. Bronson leaves, Seth leaves, and before Paul and Braun leave, Paul brings Braun in a little bit to whisper in his ear to talk to him. And so I feel like Paul Heyman has literally betrayed two of the closest people to him in his life in the last few months. Is it too crazy to think that whenever it comes time, he's not going to bet on the horse that's younger, faster, going to be in more WrestleManias, going to be in the company for another 20 years? So
Right.
I think that Braun is starting to get a little pissed off at his placement in the group, and Paul knows that, and he's planting seeds for the future whenever it inevitably breaks.
Yeah, no, I mean,
And
yeah, I mean, there's because especially with the quote unquote emergence of Bronson Reed the last couple weeks, it's
mhm.
like it's like somehow he's he's leapfrogged Braun in the pecking order, you know. And as I said, I don't know if it's true or if it's just the way the WWE's working right now, but it feels like Braun's the one who doesn't work the mic as much. You know, it's like I said, Bronson can work a mic. You know, obviously Seth can work a mic. Paul Moore talks for Braun. So I don't know. I'm just wondering. Yeah, like you said, is the fray already coming?
Well, and I don't know if necessarily when Braun does decide, because I think that's what's going to happen. I don't know that it'll necessarily be too much because of what Bronson Reed has done, but I will say that I think that the dissension of this group has been accelerated from when they initially were put together. I think when they were initially put together, this was supposed to be maybe like a 2 to 3 year run of a faction. And I think maybe now it's a lot shorter than that. We might be looking at a year before it implodes. And I think that I'll give a little spoiler to one of my picks. So if you've watched this far, you'll at least get a little spoiler. But I think that's a big reason why Bronson Reed is going to beat Roman Reigns at Clash of Paris, because I think that now that we know that or now that we feel the dissension of this group is closer, we need to really strap the rocket to these guys and get some big wins under their belt and really establish them, because whenever Braun turns on Seth, because it's going to happen, I don't think that it's going to be to form a tag team with Bronson. I think that they're going to go their separate ways. And I think it's going to be a situation of maybe tensions have been building for months at this point. Braun finally turns on Seth, and Bronson's just kind of standing there in the corner, and Braun just kind of gives him like a look like, you can go or you can be next. And Bronson's like, all right. And he just dips. And I think that's his like way of being like, all right, this is too much for me. I'm out. I'm going to go do my own thing.
I don't
And
know,
so
dude.
then he goes and does his own thing, and then I think we get Braun and Seth.
I think what it's going to be is going to be one of those times yet again with Seth and Braun in the ring, and somebody's coming out, and Seth's going to say like, "Go get him," and Braun's going to start going, and he's going to run, and he's going to hit the ropes, turn around, and spear Seth.
It could be that. I mean, that could be
That
how it goes
that's
down.
how it's going down.
That could be how it goes down, but I still
He's gonna be like,
think,
I'm tired of being used as your, you know, whatever, your
yeah, yeah,
lackey,
yeah.
you know, whoa, whoa, pow. And then he kicks the guy coming in his butt too. He just beats everybody. I mean,
You know
God,
what it
think
is?
about it. He went through that. What was it? What was that match like a month ago? The last man standing match where he started
Hmm.
first and had to go through everybody. The
The
gauntlet
gauntlet, the
match.
gauntlet,
Yeah, the
yeah.
gauntlet match. I mean, like he has endured some matches lately, man. Some beatings.
I
So
tell you what's going to happen, Matt. Here it is. I'm going to book it right here. Months of tension has built or whatever. We get Braun, Bronson, Seth, and Paul in the ring. At this point, Paul and Seth have been butting heads for a while, and Seth is tired of it. So instead of kicking him out of the group, he leans in and says something. He says, "You can get in line or you can get out." And Paul says, "All right, I'll get in line." And as part of whatever punishment or whatever, that's when Seth is going to be like, "Braun, get him," and he's going to tell Braun to spear Paul Heyman as punishment for whatever's going on. And instead of spearing Paul Heyman, like you said, he's going to wind up for the spear, and instead of spearing Paul Heyman, he's going to spear Seth Rollins. That's when Paul's going to start laughing, ha 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 ha, and they turn to Bronson Reed and stare him down, and that's when Bronson's like, "All right, I get it, I'm out," and he dips, and then we get Paul and Braun. They get to go up against Seth, and it could happen as soon as WrestleMania. I don't think it'll be that soon. I don't want it at next WrestleMania. I really wanted the one after. I really wanted it. What would that be? 43. I really wanted it at 43 because I want Seth and Punk at next year's Mania for the world title. That's what I really want. So that
I
just
want
feels like where it's supposed to go.
Seth and Roman. I don't know, but I don't know. I
That's
mean,
not happening. I think at this point, Seth and Roman one-on-one at WrestleMania, never going to happen. I don't think it's
really.
ever going to happen. Yeah. I think that the window to do it was like 5 to 6 years ago. And I think that now that it hasn't happened, I don't think that there's ever gonna be a right time that that would make it right. It would feel forced, and I just don't wanna do it if it I would rather talk about what if instead of, like, imagine if they wouldn't have done it. Imagine if we would have just thought about it forever, you know?
And
I
I
feel
guess
like
they
Roman Punk is more likely than Roman Seth.
well, I mean, I guess they just did the whole the three-way with them as well at last
Mhm.
WrestleMania.
That's what I'm saying, like, with Paul Heyman, like, turning on Roman and then turning on Punk and siding with Seth, it makes more sense for me to do Roman and Punk because that seems to be where more animosity is currently, but I don't really know what you do with Roman next year at Mania because it feels like The Rock is the legit answer, but that's never gonna happen. I've given up on The Rock coming back for a WrestleMania match,
I
so I
don't
don't really
want him
know.
to. I don't want him to. Like if
I don't either.
I want The Rock to come back to get beat up. Like I don't believe The Rock's coming back and like gonna beat Braun Breaker, you know,
I only want The
or
Rock to
something.
come back if he announces beforehand that it's his retirement. That's the only way I want a Rock match.
No, I'm not even talking about a Rock match. I don't want The Rock like in the ring at all, unless like somebody's gonna lay him out. Like I don't want him in there like doing like shenanigans like he did with the I mean I don't want any of that. Like I want The Rock gets in there on a microphone. Somebody from Gunther to to Roman to whoever, somebody you're gonna spear him, hit him, drop him on something, and make him like I want The Rock to be vulnerable. I don't want The Rock to come in there
Mm.
and be like, "Yeah, I'm just coming in here and look, I'm gonna smash everything again." Like, I'm really curious because of that, like what they're gonna do with Brock Lesnar, you know, because I have no idea. But man, the Brock Lesnar that showed up like at what match was that he just reappeared at
SummerSlam.
SummerSlam? The guy who showed up at SummerSlam looked like the retired Superman who's been on the farm,
Mm.
huge beard, like he'd been like running a tractor, like
Well,
like
that's what he does.
milking
He
the
lives on a
cows.
farm in Saskatchewan.
There you go. See, that's what he looks like. So I don't know, like like what's it like when evil Superman comes out of retirement? Is he going to be able to? I got no idea. So I mean, like I said, so these I I mean, Braun kind of put it like, with his bad math, the right way. It's like these guys are 100 years old in the ring. I mean, like you put
You get hold. That's a shout out to Steiner Math. His uncle did a very famous promo in TNA. Where I'm gonna have to show you. I'll send it to you after
I
this.
heard it was Steiner math. I didn't know it came from a promo, but
Oh yeah.
I thought yeah. So I guess
If
yeah.
you take your 33 and a thirds chance and his 33 and a thirds chance, and you take it from my 66 and a sixth chance, then I got 100 blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I gotta find it. It's good. It's good. It's good. But yeah, so that was Monday Night Raw. Look, dude, I thought it was an overall good show. Well, we didn't dive too much into the ending of it, but
I mean, well, okay, yeah. I mean,
Breaker does end up with the win over LA
right.
Knight. We get a big
And
brawl at the
here's the
end.
thing. It didn't seem like he was going to, because like you said, LA Knight came out there. Like I said, we kind of skirted this. Comes out there before the match and starts. Well, first Roman starts it. Roman comes out there and busts in on Bronson, Paul, and Braun walking in. So first we got the continuation of the Bronson Roman thing, and then LA Knight comes in and hops on Braun, and then Adam Pearce comes in and he's like, "Get in there!" I'm like, usually Adam Pearce is the voice of reason, you know. Like I was waiting for him. That's what I thought was going to be your stunning things. Like I said, when you said you had got a spoiler before, I thought the stunning thing was like Braun injured before match, can't go or whatever. I was waiting for Adam Pearce to be like, "No, you can't go. It's okay. You don't have to." He's like, "Get your ass out there,"
Yeah, yeah.
So, and like I said, then LA Knight proceeds to beat the ever living tar out of Braun for like 15 minutes. It felt like, I don't know, before finally Braun gets a little bit of a turn, and then Seth comes out, gets the distraction, and Braun gets the win. But this is another time, like we talk about how like the faction has to be strong. This faction like only feels strong after the pin 9 times out of 10. Like I feel like they take the pin, but after they take the pin, now we're gonna beat you up. This time, they got the pin, luckily, but like I said, then the usual shenanigans happen, Seth and Braun beating the crap out of LA Knight. Jay comes out, Punk comes out, but what we didn't talk about was Jay's desire for the title. He told Roman, and Roman's like, don't trust Punk. Do it
Yeah.
yourself, don't. So we're seeing the fractures for this fatal four-way in Clash in Paris, because you would assume it'd be Jay, Punk, and LA Knight all trying to kick Seth's butt. But
Yeah.
now, Casey, what do you think with these fractures,
Yeah, I like it, and I like what Roman said about like, "Hey, look, you've done enough for the family. You've done enough for me. You've done enough for the fans, for the company. It's time for you to lock in and do it for yourself, dude." And I really liked that, coming from Roman, and I think that a little bit of a mean streak is what I think that's what they kind of tried to do with Jay in his first title run, and maybe was a little lacking, was a little bit of a mean streak. And so I think a nice mean streak in Jey Uso would be cool. And honestly, excuse me, what I really want to see out of this eventually, I want to see a Jey Uso heel turn eventually. I'm not saying it has to be right now or even in a month or two, but I want to see a world where Roman Reigns has nobody, and it's all because of the way that he was and the person that he was and the way that he treated people. And I would really like Jey Uso, low key, to start a little faction. I don't want it to be bloodline related. I don't want it to be like Bloodline 4.0. I want it to be Jey Uso and two guys behind him. They're the two guys behind him, good on the mic. I would have to look up who I really think it should be. First, people that come to mind, maybe the Street Profits from SmackDown. I wouldn't mind the Street Profits running with Jey Uso, because dress them all up nice and dapper and, looking like they look all over the place. And Street Profits could be running the tag division on Monday Night Raw while Jey Uso is the World Heavyweight Champion. And I would really like to see a heel Jey Uso and a babyface Roman Reigns dynamic. Who would have thought 3 years ago that would even be a possibility of us getting those two against each other? So I'm not saying it has to happen down or like right now, or that it even has to have a faction, but I would kind of like to see kind of like a heel rogue Jey Uso, not like a necessarily a bad guy, but like I don't care who I make mad when I do it. I don't care who I piss off. I'm doing what I want to do for me. And if that makes the fans mad, so be it. If that makes the people in the back mad, so be it. So I would kind of like to see something like that from Jey Uso eventually, I think.
You say that, and I echo a lot of it, because and it makes me think a little bit back to, like you said, his first title run, what Gunther kind of brought out of him, like think about it, like, bloodying Jimmy and whatnot, trying to bring this evil out of him. But this time, no, we saw it a little bit. Like there were hints of like, yeah, heel Jay at the end of that match, just for the lack of caring. And we've seen it a little bit, since he's lost the title, a little brutality. Like we saw it last week, with Braun and whatnot. The Roman thing makes it interesting, but here's the other thing I thought was interesting. For a second, I kind of fantasized that Jay and Seth would get on the same page. Like I feel like there's some weird respect between the two of them. If they weren't both going for the title right now, you know, like, because Seth hates LA Knight. He hates Punk. Think don't think he hates Jay. You know, I don't know where Jay's not on that list. I think there's a weird respect. Like he appreciates what Jay's trying to do. Like he appreciates Gunther. You know what I mean? Like I don't
Mm-hmm.
think Seth hates Gunther. He appreciates Gunther. He's just some guy in his way. And I feel like that's how he looks at Jay. And it makes me wonder, like I said, if Jay goes heel, what if Jay becomes the fourth man in the faction? And what that, like
And
I
you
said,
know what? And what if that starts to cause a rift
oh, like I
between
said, and like I
he and
said, that
Braun?
that really pisses Braun off.
Yeah.
And on top of that, it also sets up the redemption fight between Roman and Jay. Because if there's one guy you're saving Jay from, it's Seth. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And then
I mean,
we could get a spot eventually between Jay and Roman, where Roman basically is in the middle of the ring on his knees with his arms out, and he's like, "Look, bro, I did this to you. If it'll fix it, take me out right now." And we get that epic moment in the center of the ring, and I actually hope that Jey Uso hits him. I hope he super kicks him right there in the middle of the ring, to be honest. But I don't know, a Jey Uso win over Roman would be huge in the future.
I
I
mean,
would love to see that.
I just don't know how to get to the beginning of my mad booking. I don't know how to get past Clash in Paris. Like I don't know how to get them completely on the same page. I feel like somehow like Punk and Knight would have to beat the crap out of Jay, and Jay would have to feel like he was just getting it in the match. And Seth still wins, But he goes to Jay and he's like, "Hey man, I saw a Punk in the night. Did you, man? That was dirty.
Yeah.
You know, you're probably the only guy who could beat me, you know, or something like that, you know." And then
I
it's
feel like Jay's gonna have a moment in the match where, because it's no DQ,
right,
remember? So no DQ, no whatever, no count out, I think. And I think that Jay's gonna have a moment in the match where he's gonna have a choice with a chair to either hit Seth or hit either CM Punk or LA Knight, who
right,
I think Jay might feud with next, whoever's on the other side of that.
right,
I
right,
think we
right.
could get like a little like, you
I
know,
think a JLA Knight feud is almost,
I
you
think
know,
that could happen.
I
I
think that's
think
almost
that's
because
maybe
I
it.
don't know if you go Punk because Punk's so, but who knows? Maybe it's a J Punk as well. I'm with you. Whoever's on the side of that chair, I'm with you. If something like that happens, 100%.
Yeah, and
So
it could be like one of those where bang, and then that costs because maybe then Braun comes in and spears Jay, and Bronson lays him out with a tsunami, and then Seth hits the stomp for the win. You know, and then maybe that can be the little sign of respect after, is like, hey, I know you had a choice to hit one of us with that chair, and you didn't hit me, and that means something. And then he just leaves it
yeah,
and then lets it
I'm
simmer.
just saying, there's if we can connect that bridge, I can see that storyline being the storyline. So
Yeah, I'm right there with you. All right. Well, a lot of, well, like you said, we don't know a lot until after Clash in Paris, and Clash in Paris is coming up Sunday. So be looking out for our predictions coming up in a few days. It's going to be posted before SmackDown. So forgive us if SmackDown changes anything, as it can sometimes right before a PLE. But yeah, our predictions are coming up, and then we'll have Friday reaction for SmackDown. That pod will be up Saturday, and then our reactions pod for Clash of Paris will be up Monday. So got a few pods coming up in the next week. Stay tuned. All the shorts going to be posted on the social medias and stuff. What match are you looking forward to most at Clash of Paris? Let us know in the comments down below, because I think it's going to be a really good show. Oh, we didn't talk about Bailey. We're going to have to talk about Bailey.
God, dude, we could do a whole series on what Bailey's doing lately. So
Oh
yeah,
my gosh. So look, we're going to do a separate video about Bailey, because I genuinely love what's going on with her. And it's
right.
one of my favorite things on Monday Night Raw right now, which is, while I was reading my review, it didn't mention it in the review for some reason.
No, I mean
So it
it's
just kind of
good.
slipped my mind.
It's its own thing. I feel like it's very good right now. It's the
Bailey, I think,
it's the
is,
cinematic side of the WWE right now.
yes, dude. I'm loving the voices in her head, but we'll talk about that a little more later. And yeah, dude,
Like
Clash
I
of
said,
Paris coming up. I'm super
hit
excited.
us up. Like I said, comment, let us know where we're crazy. Let us know what you agree with. Give us your bookings. We always like reading y'all's comments. And then, like I said, we're back doing Clash of Paris predictions and some Bailey talk probably on the next one.